Greetings, my friends. Some months ago, a lady came here to discuss an issue with me. And during our discussion, she told me that she has made up her mind concerning her husband and that no one can change her mind. Another week after, a young lady also discussed this issue with me and told me that she has also made up her mind concerning her mother because of what she did to her. What do we call mind? I want us to know what we call mind before we make up our mind. Be careful with your mind. This is the title of this lecture. The human mind wields immense influence, capable of guiding you towards success or plunging you into despair. Your ability to optimize your life hinges on how you harness your mental faculty. The origins of triumph or defeat lie within your thoughts. It is essential to recognize that no individual is inherently destined for failure. Everyone possesses the gift of choice. The decision you'll make reflects your mind's development. Failing to assert mastery over your mind leaves it vulnerable to the dominance of base instinct, allowing them to guide your action. Your thought pattern plays a decisive role in shaping your reality. Adverse thoughts manifest in your circumstances, sometimes becoming so vivid that they materialize as mental images. In extreme cases, individuals may even experience auditory hallucination, compelling them to undertake specific actions. There are numerous instances where people report hearing inner voices urging them to take harmful decisions that could even kill them, like jumping into rivers or committing acts of violence. A friend once shared a story with me. While mowing his lawn, he couldn't help but entertain the idea of snake might be lurking somewhere nearby. Astonishingly, he spotted the snake slithering away in a short while later. This anecdote underscored the potency of human thought. Controlling your thought is imperative, for they invariably shape your destiny. In discussions about mental control, you might encounter idiomatic expressions like use your church mind, conveying that your mind is subject to your guidance. People with small minds often face challenges due to their inability to read or hear stories of other people who achieve great things. Before proceeding, let's define the mind. What do we call the mind? According to Wikipedia, the mind is a complex term that refers to the collective aspect of intellect, consciousness, thoughts, emotions, memories, and perception that comprise of individuals' cognitive process. It encompasses all the mental functions, including the reasoning, imagination, memory storage and retrieval, decision making and emotional responses. While the mind is closely associated with the brain biological processes, it also involves psychological and philosophical dimensions that explore how these mental processes shape our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. There are about 5 gates to the mind of man: the eyes, the mouth, the hands, the nose, and the ears. The most dangerous of these gates are the ears, the mouth, and the eyes. What you hear, what you say, and what you see. These all significantly impact on our minds. It will be good if you guide all these gates diligently because they feed our mind. When the data in our mind is processed, they become thoughts. Man is a product of his thought because human beings respond to the abundance of his mind. Such responses shape who you become. As a man thinketh, so he is. Now, where is the mind in the human body? When you ask this question, people often tend to touch their chest, say, oh, this is the mind of man. Some think that the physical heart is the mind. However, the heart is not the mind. The heart is just there to pump the blood, and it has no capacity to think. The mind is located in the brain. The brain controls a person's movement, emotions, and various bodily functions. While the mind alludes to a person's morality, reasoning, and understanding, the brain is a physical organ that can be touched or seen. However, the mind is intangible and cannot be touched or seen. In essence, the mind is a multifaceted concept encompassing cognitive processes, consciousness, and subjective experience. Its nature and location are subject to ongoing study and debate across the world. The human mind is trained by the knowledge and directions given to its ideas. It is incredibly malleable and adaptive, shaped significantly by the knowledge it receives from the environment and the direction in which the ideas are guided. This process begins early in life and continues throughout one's existence, influenced by various factors such as the education you receive, experiences, culture, and personal interests. Parents must be very careful about what they expose their children to very early in life, because some things that enter into their subconsciousness remains there for life. These thoughts can become very difficult to erase. Listen to me. Our minds have the potential to be our significant enemy, but they also hold the key to our liberation. By addressing and managing our internal struggles, we can harness the power of our mind to become our greatest ally in achieving a fulfilling and successful life. Success is born first in our minds. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. If you feel you cannot do it, you will not be able to do it. Now, let's look at this. Concerning our minds, what are the things we should be careful with? 1. Negative thought pattern. Our mind can sometimes become trapped in cycle of negativity, where pessimistic and self-critical thoughts take center stage. This mental loop can lead to a host of emotional challenges, including a lack of confidence, increased anxiety, and even depression. Negative thought patterns often distort our perception of reality, making everyday challenges appear insurmountable and significantly diminishing our sense of self-worth. This pattern manifests in various ways, such as catastrophizing, expecting the worst possible outcome in every given situation, overgeneralization, viewing a single negative event as if they are never-ending pattern of defeat. The another level of it is black and white thinking, seeing things in extremes without recognizing any middle ground or gray areas. Also, personalization, blaming oneself for events outside one's control, filtering, focusing solely on the negative aspects of our situation while ignoring any positive areas. Secondly, self-doubt. These are areas we should be very careful about. This is a common internal advisory many of us face. It manifests as a persistent inner voice that questions our ability, decisions, and worth. This internal critic can be incredibly debilitating, holding us back from pursuing our goals and dreams. When plagued by self-doubt, we often hesitate to try new experiences or take the risk necessary for personal and professional growth. One of the primary drivers of self-doubt is fear of failure. The possibility of not succeeding can be so overwhelming that it paralyzes or prevents us from even attempting to achieve our aspiration. This fear is often coupled with an unrealistic need for perfection. We set impossibly high standard for ourselves, and believing anything less than perfect is unacceptable. This perfectionism can lead to procrastination as we delay taking actions to avoid any mistakes. The third one is irrational fears. Our mind can magnify fears, sometimes transforming minor anxiety into overwhelming and disproportionate concern. These irrational fears, often rooted in our subconscious, can significantly impact our lives. When fear is allowed to dominate, it can lead to avoidance behavior, causing us to steer clear of situations, places, or activities that are beneficial or crucial for our growth and development. Another challenge is overthinking, a mental habit where we obsessively analyze and reanalyze situations, often to the point of creating problems that don't even exist. This excessive rumination can lead to a variety of adverse outcomes. For instance, it can generate unnecessary stress and anxiety as we get caught in a loop of worry and second-guessing ourselves. This paralysis, by analyzing, can make decision-making incredibly difficult, leaving us stuck in a state of indecision. Moreover, Overthinking can drain our mental energy and can divert our focus from more productive activities. In extreme cases, it can even lead to mental health issues such as depression. I speak to you, my friend. Be careful with your mind. Be careful with what you think. Be careful with what you expose your eyes and your ear to. Don't allow anyone to mess around with your mind. The mind can store the data received by sight and ears. When you notice someone is a negative person who talks recklessly, kindly distance yourself from them. Don't entertain them, because the mind has a way of storing words, and someday they will pop up. What is not in your mind cannot pop up. In part 2 of this lecture on power of the mind, I will teach you how you can control or disabuse your mind. If your mind has been battered in relationship or marriage by some men or women in the past, you can restore your mind to a factory setting. If you have pains in your heart because your husband cheated on you, your son disappointed you, or your wife left you high and dry, I will teach you how you can restore your mind to a factory setting as the Lord has created you. Now, Mentoring Masterclass is a product of eLife Academy. So many people are in pains, searching for someone to help and mentor them. We cannot perform this task alone. Mentoring Masterclass needs partners to join hands with us to help generations of the weak, the poor, and the unhappy. Not just them, but even the rich and the strong, who also need direction and mentoring. If you think you'd like to partner with us, if you desire to help Mentoring Masterclass or speak with me, Bola Adewara, call the numbers there. Even the account number is there. We need support. We need support. Join hands with us. See you in part 2 of this lecture, where I will teach you how to control or how to disabuse your mind. Believe me, you will be happy again. See you in part 2. God be with you.